everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aisha. I am a certified trauma-informed coach and manifestation guide. Today's video, I'm going to be covering the topic of SP and sharing some of my experiences in what I found worked and what I found didn't work, and just some general good advice related to manifesting. And if you are tired of the hot and cold behavior from your SP, or you are attempting to manifest an SP out of thin air, then this is the video for you. So when it comes to SP, I think there's a lot of common misconceptions. One of the biggest ones I see is people think that because your SP is a different person than you, it's a separate individual, that you can't manifest them. So what I want to encourage you to do is think about anything you've manifested before, whether that was a job offer or getting a certain grade in school, or manifesting a free meal or a gift of some sort. Another human being played a role in you getting that opportunity and you getting that manifestation. If you were to take a test, somebody has to grade that test. If you're going for a job, someone has to call you in for the interview and someone has to decide to hire you after you've been interviewed. If you manifested a gift or a free meal or anything of the sort, somebody had to choose that. So those manifestations are no different than manifesting your SP. The other thing I'm going to touch on really quickly is that SP is not only your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, it is any specific person. So these tips and tricks work whether we are talking about mending a friendship or getting along with a sibling or developing your relationship with your parent or anyone for that matter. There are no limitations in manifestation, so these rules apply to everything and everyone in every situation, every time. I'm gonna be referring to my notes, so if I look down, don't mind that. So rule number one, or tip number one, is stop reacting to the 3D. This is the trickiest thing to master, I think, for most people, because it requires self-discipline, emotional regulation, and self-awareness, really. You have to be able to recognize, wait a second, I'm reacting to this situation instead of being the operant power. I'm giving my power to the circumstances instead of reclaiming my power for myself and deciding for myself where I go from here. Now, in partnerships, this can be really tricky because, especially if you've had like a poor experience in the past, your brain is gonna hold on to every little negative thing. Your brain is gonna want to relive those fights and arguments. It's going to want to focus all of your energy and your like mental headspace, like your state of mind, on those negativities, on everything that's going wrong. This is what happens when any of us manifest if we're not developed in our skill of manifestation. So if you find yourself reacting to the 3D, learn some mindfulness practices. Learn how to pause in the moment and no longer give that moment your power. And I mean, I'm human, like there are moments where I become emotional and I do become a little bit reactive, but more and more I can recognize when I do that and say, wait a second, I can feel these feelings because I know that they're just a guiding light for me saying, I don't like this, this is uncomfortable, this is not what I want. And I can choose to redirect as quickly as possible to be like, okay, well, even though it doesn't look like it, like logically, it doesn't look like this is moving in my favor, I'm gonna choose to believe that it is. So choosing to believe that no matter the 3D circumstances, your manifestation is coming. No matter what emotions you may feel in your body, your manifestation is coming. That is key to manifesting your SP. The other thing I want to touch on is that I've seen a lot of people be really selfish with their SP, and I know this is going to cause some friction and not everyone is going to like what I have to say, but this is genuinely coming from my experience manifesting SPs. So I have been in a 6-year relationship before, and I have manifested an SP out of thin air, and I've had some experience manifesting people, both consciously and unconsciously. And what I found to be so helpful is to stop being selfish with my SP manifestation. What I mean by that is there's a lot of people telling you to put yourself on the pedestal, to see yourself as above them, to see yourself as like, of course I'm the prize, of course. And while I totally advocate for confidence, I think some people take it too far and start to feed their ego in a negative way, whereas I think it's much better to instead manifest that you and your SP are perfect for each other. You and your SP are equal. You and your SP are two halves of a better whole. And when I started to manifest from that perspective, number one, I was getting like way less in my ego, like way more calm about things, because I think when you feed your ego too much, you get really triggered when you're not seeing what you want to see. And that's the ego's job, is to protect us. It's to give us everything that we want. But it just feels better. It works better in my experience. Now, if you don't agree, try it and find out, or go find someone else to tell you that you're on the pedestal and you're the best and your SP is not on your level or whatever. Some people say some crazy things, okay? But I find that it can be really a selfish thing sometimes if you are only manifesting your own happiness when it comes to your SP. One affirmation I use is, I am everything SP wants in a woman. And what that does is it boosts my confidence and helps me feel calm, because if I'm already everything that my SP wants, then I don't have anything to worry about. But it also helps me to feel good, because if I'm everything my SP wants, then my SP is really happy, because doesn't everyone like to get everything they want? Doesn't that feel good? So the next thing I want to touch on is stop recreating the past. And I know I have done this so many times when manifesting SP. This is when, if we've had a negative experience in relationships, whether that is coming from childhood trauma or a negative experience that we've had in the past, or we had a not so harmonious relationship, or even a toxic relationship with an ex, we can often bring that emotional baggage into our current relationship. And when we do that, we begin to treat our current SP as if they are the old SP, as if they are the old narrative, as if they are against us, and we can become really defensive. And when we're in a state of defensiveness, we are not our best self. And we will go into fight or flight, and we will not have clarity of mind, and we will not feel like the operant power, and instead feel like the victim. And so many people are not manifesting SP because they're stuck in that old state. They are stuck believing that they are the woman or man who is not worth it, that they always get cheated on, that no one is going to be loyal to them, no one is going to choose them. And that has to stop. That state of mind has to stop, because if you believe it, your SP is going to believe it. That is how this law works. The next thing I want to touch on is giving your SP space. We all need to step back sometimes and reevaluate. We all can benefit from having a breather from people. And so if you find yourself obsessing over the 3D, obsessing over the arguments or the disagreements, or things not showing you in the 3D that your manifestations are coming, step back for a little bit. That doesn't have to mean going no contact. It doesn't necessarily have to mean breaking up, or as Manifesting with Kimberly says it, going on solo vacation. Love that. It doesn't have to mean a full separation. It can just mean, and here's what I recommend, is you taking time to feed yourself. Take yourself out on dates. Take yourself out for alone time. Book solo vacations, like actual solo vacations, to travel. Take a weekend trip or even a day trip by yourself. Join groups or meetups and start hobbies. Try different things. You will benefit from it because you are nurturing yourself, and your SP will benefit from it because when you are feeding yourself, when you are feeding your soul, when you are doing activities that make you feel inspired and alive and joyful, guess what? You're not manifesting shitty circumstances. You're not manifesting against what you desire. The last thing that I want to touch on is kill them with kindness. So when your SP is being a jerk, just be kind to them anyways. When your SP and you are arguing, take the high road, because the biggest thing in manifestation that creates momentum is responding to the 3D as if your manifestation has already actualized. And what that means is, if you and your SP have a harmonious relationship, you have a healthy, happy, fulfilling relationship, you will not be treating them unkindly. You will not be complaining that they want you to go out of your way to do something nice for them. You will be like, of course, baby, of course, love, like, of course, mom, of course, sister. I would love to serve you. I would love to help you out because you treat me how I want to be treated. You are the perfect version of yourself for me. So of course I'm gonna go out of my way for you. Like, when I started implementing this, oh my goodness, it clicked for me. I was able to not only ignore the 3D circumstances, but feel proud of myself that I had the discipline physically and mentally to say, you know what, no matter what is going on, I know what I want, and being kind to them is what I would do if they were giving me what I want in this moment. So I know that it can be tricky. I know that when you're arguing with someone or you feel unhappy, it can be really easy to be reactive and fight back or be defensive or play their games, right? But you have to remember that we're playing our own game. We're setting our own rules. We are living in our own realities, and part of that is choosing to be the best version of yourself no matter the circumstances, no matter what the 3D is showing you, to just honor you, to be the version of you that you are most happy and excited to be. And when you learn this, I promise you, your manifestations will come through much easier, much quicker. You will be in a happier headspace and it will feel really positive. So this video wouldn't be complete if I didn't also share some of the mistakes I have made. And when I began to understand, not when I began learning manifestation, but when I began to understand manifestation, I started to reflect on my past and think about, okay, if I am in control of my reality, which I am, if I am the operant power, which I am, why then did I manifest those negative experiences? If it was all me, why? And when I reflect on those periods of my life, I think about, I had a poor mental diet. I was not living in self-love. I was not taking care of myself. I was not providing what I needed to be the best version of myself. And that grew into resentment for others. And a lot of people do this, and it is nothing to be ashamed of, but it is something to be aware of so you can fix it. When I manifested infidelity in previous relationships, I was extremely anxious. I wasn't my most confident self. I was deeply insecure in my partnerships. And that's why I created those negative circumstances, because I let fear win. I let the circumstances tell me that I deserved those experiences instead of being empowered and choosing my reality. The other thing I noticed when manifesting my SP this time around is I had a tendency to catastrophize. So my brain learned in my previous experiences that if we have a little fight or a little argument, that was an excuse to spiral out of control and think, oh my goodness, this is the end. We're through. We're never going to recover from this. And the skill I've mastered in this partnership is to stop and say, whoa, just because we had one bad day doesn't mean that tomorrow can't be the best day we've ever had. Just because we have one disagreement doesn't mean that this person suddenly hates me or doesn't want to be with me. And just because this person isn't treating me how I want to be treated doesn't mean that I am not of value. Doesn't mean that I'm not worth it. That's a them problem, right? Really, it's our brain manifesting it, but I like to think of it as a them problem. I think of it as, well, if they are not treating me how I want to be treated, they must be having a bad day. They must be having a hard time. They must be unfulfilled. And this goes back to kill them with kindness, which, like, you never know why someone is starting an argument. And of course, if you manifest it, then you can put the blame on yourself. But ultimately, we all have bad days. We all have multiple stressors, multiple things on our minds, on our plates to juggle. And we are not the only ones manifesting our SP. So your SP has a life outside of you as an individual. So they could have had a bad day at work and now they're expressing to you in a way that you don't feel is your fault or it is something you deserve. And that may very well be the case. But no matter whose fault it is, put it back on yourself to be the operant power. And I promise you it works. I really can't stress this enough. If you are just kind to your partner on their worst days, they will learn to be kind to you on your worst days. And if you manifest the version of them that is always loving and kind to you, you also have to be willing to be that for them. And this is why I touched on people being really selfish with their SP manifestations. You should want the best for your SP at all times. And that also means setting your own best interests aside sometimes, setting your own emotions aside sometimes and saying, okay, I'm gonna be present with them now. And however this goes, I know I can manifest a better day tomorrow. So if this video was helpful, go ahead and drop a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And if you'd like to watch more of my content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Manifesting your SP is easy because it all comes back to you, your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about love, your beliefs about your ability to manifest, your ability to create your reality. So I hope that this video gave you something to try, gave you something to experiment with, because manifestation is all about trying things and seeing if they work. So I encourage you to keep persisting and stay positive while your manifestation is unraveling. I hope everyone has a great holiday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!